Alright, this is part 2 of how to use Xtrans to transcribe a multi-speaker audio recording. So we were explaining how to type in what someone says. So go ahead, where you were talking.
Okay, so let's say that you have, or you start to transcribe a segmentation that you already have. In order to start from the beginning, all you do is press the Tab key, and that will start it for you. And whenever you hit the Tab key, actually, it's always going to start the audio file from the very beginning of the segmentation that you have highlighted.
Right, so that blue square, once you press Tab, the green line goes to the beginning of the left side of that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're probably going to want to hear it over and over again because people speak really fast and it takes a long time to type what they say.
Right. And let's say that you need to pause in a file, so let's move over to a little bit of a larger segmentation, so the next one.
Okay, so how do you move to the next one?
So you can actually just do it by hitting the down key.
Oh.
Or the up key. You can scroll. Yeah, you can scroll through the different segmentations.
But on the last in part 1, you did it a different way. How did you do it?
You can click on it, or you can scroll to
using
one or the other, just using the up and down key.
Okay.
So if we just hit the down key right now, it highlights the following segment.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we start playing that file. So you hit Tab.
So okay.
And then you want to stop it in the middle of it. You hit Alt and P.
Okay.
And that pauses it for you.
Alt P. Ah, and so the
there
tape head is stopped in the middle of that blue square.
And then to start it up again, you do the exact same thing, Alt and P.
Right. So if we had the sound on, you could actually hear what the person's saying, but as we said in the previous section, this is a clinical audio recording. It's too hard for us to make our own given our time. So just imagine you're hearing speech when that tape head is moving. All right. So go ahead, continue.
And let's say that now you realize that you accidentally went a little bit too long.
Well, actually, wait, before we just type in a little more. So, like, pretend you're listening to this guy. It's participant 1 we're dealing with now, not researcher 1. And pretend they say, you know, the fox jumped over the log. So you listen to it, there you go, and then you type it, and, you know, you listen to it a few times using the Tab key or sometimes Alt-P. To stop and then pick up. So you finish typing that one. Okay, and then do another turn and, you know, say something like, you know, there's only, you know, there's death and taxes. and taxes. Yeah. And then that's their turn, right? So you're right, and now you're on participant 1's. What is that? Second turn, and so the blue square is now for their second turn, right? You can see green, red, and so it's that turn. And then you might hit Tab to hear what they're saying again. So you listen, and they say, "Oh, how depressing." So okay, so you can type, "Oh, how depressing." And then, you know, then go to the researcher. So you hit down to go there, or you could click on it. So now we see the blue square is moved over to that last green part. You listen, and then maybe they say, "Yep, let's talk about something happier." So you type, there you go, and then go to the next turn, and then, you know, type what they're saying. Like, okay, they just say okay, and that's it. So then, like, good time to save as often as possible. So there you just go File, Save, like usual. Most programs do that. So now you were explaining what to do if the time isn't exactly, you made a mistake where you made the segment. It was a little bit off, like 3 seconds too early or 3 seconds too late. So what do you do?
So you're going to want to find the boundary. So, like, let's say this blue line right here, and you realize that you started a little bit too early.
Okay.
You're going to press and hold the Shift key.
Okay.
And then you're going to left-click on that boundary.
Ah.
See, you can tell that you've got it correctly when it shows up like that.
Yeah, with that arrow, back and forth arrow, yeah.
And then you can just drag it to one side or the other. So let's say you want to start it earlier, you drag it to the left. If you want to start it a little bit later, you just drag it over to the right.
I see.
And that's all you do.
So it's shift left. Great.
So I'll just set this back to where it was.
Great. That's useful. And then, of course, you're going to want to save shortly after that to tell the file that the segment of, the last turn for participant 1 starts at this new time.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Great.
And then let's say there's overlapping speech. So
in other words, they're talking at the same time. They're interrupting each other, as I've often done with you. Okay.
So let's go back to this large files, or this large segmentation.
Yeah, so that's participant 1's first
we'll
turn.
Just click on this to highlight it.
Click on his first
So it's
turn.
highlighted.
Okay.
And let's say that the researcher 1 interrupts right over here and says, So you just come over to here, click on the area where that speech starts.
Click left. Okay.
And then Alt-M.
Okay.
And then say they stop there.
Oh, okay.
And then go up to click again to where the speaker is.
Oh.
So in this case, Researcher 1.
Researcher 1 did that interruption there.
And then
okay. Oh, and then what?
Control-N, just
Control
like you do with
N.
any speaker.
Ah, so now we have that new little blip. Now it's, and we were going to say like, right? Because that's what he said. I see. So now we have a little patch of green. Where'd that go? Oh yeah, it's right down here. So at just before 10 seconds, we have both red and green talking at the same time. So that's where, Researcher 1 interrupts participant 1. And you can also have can you show a little overlap where, like, we're on Researcher 1's third turn, and participant 1 comes in a little early, and so there's overlapping, but not an island of itself.
So.
Okay, so you click on participant 1 there, so that's the OK is highlighted. Yep.
Let's say they overlap just a little bit before he takes over.
Yep.
We'll just drag it over a little bit, just like we talked about before, and that's all you do.
Right, so now we can see that we have a little bit of red and green overlapping, and that's the region that overlaps. Great. What else? So we've done overlapping speech. We've done changing the time boundaries. We've shown saving a file. I think that's pretty much it, right?
Yep.
So let's say that do you think we can quickly show what what one of these TDF files looks like?
Sure. So we'll save, and then we'll quit.
Great.
Okay. And then down here is where it's saved, and this is the TDF file.
Oh, there it is. We called it Bob and Fred earlier.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
So
okay,
double
open
click.
it up. Okay, so there's the spreadsheet in Excel, and so the first column is like what? What's that?
File Unicode.
So can you make that a little bigger so we can see?
Sure. And then we'll format.
Oh, good. So format.
Autofit.
Autofit. Okay. Right. So it's telling us on every line what the relevant file name is, which is always the same for us, and then channel, I don't know what that is. Start. So start is telling us how many seconds in that particular turn. So each row is a turn, and so this start float column tells us when they started speaking and the end, or when they ended speaking. At least that's what we think. We haven't rigorously verified this, but it would be very strange if what I'm telling you is false. Now we have column E, which is the speaker names, so you can see, and then going over, we have things that we don't care about, like speaker type or dialect, or and then finally, what we really care about is what they said, their exact words, and there it is. So, and then we see other features, which we won't go into. You can read the manual to find out what those are. And this is one of the reasons we like Xtrans over transcriber because it produces a very simple rather than an XML markup file. Thank you very much. So we've shown you how to segment some audio, mark the speakers, do overlapping speech and all. So hope you find this useful. Thank you. Anything else? All right.